It's like a curse weighing on an entire landscape. And whoever goes too deep into this has his share of that curse. So we are cursed with what we are doing here. It's a land that God, if he exists, has created in anger. It's the only land where creation is unfinished yet. Taking a close look at what's around us, there is some sort of a harmony. It is the harmony of overwhelming and collective murder. And we, in comparison to the articulate vileness and baseness and obscenity of all this, we, in comparison to that enormous articulation, we only sound and look like badly pronounced and half-finished sentences out of a stupid suburban novel, a cheap novel. And we have to become humble in front of this overwhelming misery and overwhelming fornication, overwhelming growth and overwhelming lack of order. Even the stars up here in the sky look like a mess.
It's like death staring at you.
Well, they do get disoriented. They end up in places they shouldn't be.
The enormity of their flat brain, the enormity of their stupidity is just overwhelming. You have to do yourself a favor to look in the eye with great intensity, and the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing. In nature there are predators. I believe the common denominator of the universe is not harmony, but chaos, hostility and murder. I've dwelt among the humans. Being stuck in that changed me in so many ways. Gentlemen, we have been doing a lot of funny things today, but now I must be scary. Could they just go crazy because they've had enough of their colony? The rules for the humans are: do not disturb or stand still and let him go on his way. And here he's heading off into the interior of the vast continent. He's heading towards certain death. And what haunts me is that in all the faces, my God, every night I see the faces, I discover no kinship, no understanding, no mercy. I see only the overwhelming indifference of nature. To me, this blank stare speaks only of a half-bored interest in food.
It kills us, and I think there should be real war.
I'd like to have just one day when I don't put a gun to my head. As always, the mirror to the soul. No, I didn't want to have police called because they sent out a helicopter and a SWAT team. They would have overreacted, and I thought this was not a serious bullet. This is part of the folklore out of here. This is something we can laugh about it later on, and we laughed a lot. and I've been shot at with much more serious bullets before in my life. And what I'm trying to say, it's something very exhilarating for a man to be shot at with little success. I never saw it fail to get a laugh. Is there such thing as insanity among penguins? I try to avoid a definition of insanity or derangement. I don't mean that. Yeah, it is true, I am.
For sure, it makes me want to dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it.
Have the monks stopped meditating? Even if he did, he wouldn't comprehend them. Never try to drink from the river.
Of course we are challenging nature itself, and it hits back. It just hits back, that's all, and that's grandiose about it, and we have to accept that it is much stronger than we are. I see it more full of obscenity. It's just, and nature here is vile and base.
Tiny and helpless, the baby penguins are frozen with fear. They know if they fall from this cliff, They will surely die. Gunther, give them a shove.
I would see asphyxiation and choking and fighting for survival and growing and just rotting away. Of course, there's a lot of misery, but it is the same misery that is all around us. The trees here are in misery and the birds are in misery. I don't think they sing, they just screech in pain.
Is there such thing as insanity among penguins?
Well, they do get disoriented. They end up in places they shouldn't be.
But why? Well, during a BBC interview, I was shot on camera while I was out near Lookout Mountain, and it was some sort of equivalent to road rage. And I was shot, and I had a leather jacket and a catalog inside, and it was not such a serious bullet anyway. It was probably only a small caliber rifle or a high-powered air rifle. So I was only slightly wounded, and I didn't even realize what had happened. I thought the camera had exploded and something had hit and burnt me. And I only realized when I see the sound man ducking and hitting the ground, and then part of the crew fled.
Was anyone ever apprehended?
No, I didn't want to have police called, because when you report to police you have been shot at by a man with a rifle, they send out a helicopter and a SWAT team. They would have overreacted, and I thought this was not a serious bullet. This is part of the folklore out of here. This is something we can laugh about it later on, and we laughed a lot. and I've been shot at with much more serious bullets before in my life, and what I'm trying to say, it's something very exhilarating for a man to be shot at with little success.
Yes. That was incredible. You're incredible. Thanks for being on the show. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me.